Photographed by Richard C. Miller in 1947, a 21-year-old Norma Jean radiates a natural charm before her iconic transformation into Marilyn Monroe. A 1930s composite photo reveals the Three Stooges in and out of character, offering a rare glimpse of the actual men behind the on-screen mayhem. Hume Cronin and Jessica Tandy, a celebrated acting duo, are seen here early and late in their 52-year marriage, one of Hollywood's most enduring partnerships. The steel skeleton of the New York Times building rises in 1904. It gave Times Square its name before being reskinned and covered in billboards. On February 18, 1964, Cassius Clay met the Beatles for a legendary photo op. A week later, he was heavyweight champ. They were conquering America. Jimi Hendrix closes the Woodstock Festival on August 18, 1969. His fiery rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner was a defining moment of the 1960s. Marilyn Monroe at Grand Central, March 1955. Ed Feingersh's photo captures her flight from Hollywood to redefine herself as a serious actress in NYC. Johnny Cash, Jr., with his brother Jack in 1934. Jack's tragic death 10 years later haunted the singer, shaping his life's work and music. After a 1905 gunfight, men pose with the fallen outlaw John Shaw in Canyon Diablo, a grim but common tradition in the American Old West. Judy Garland and Toto in a publicity still for The Wizard of Oz, 1939. The career-defining role that launched her into superstardom and cemented her image as a timeless cinematic icon of hope. The iconic trio from The Princess Bride, 1987. The real-life bond of Andre the Giant, Mandy Patinkin, and Wallace Shawn created cinematic magic. A radiant Audrey Hepburn in a 1953 publicity still for Roman Holiday. The role won her an Oscar and introduced the world to a new kind of elegance. Linda the Llama peers from a taxi in Times Square, 1957. Captured by Inge Morath, the surreal moment was a publicity trip for a Broadway show. Priscilla Presley in the early 1970s. The photo reflects her newfound independence as she separated from Elvis and began to forge her own identity. John Lennon playfully mocks co-star Wilfrid Bramble in a scene from A Hard Day's Night, 1964, capturing the band's irreverent spirit. Walt Disney visits Salvador Dali in Spain, 1957. Their unlikely friendship led to the surreal animated collaboration Destino, a project decades ahead of its time. A 17-year-old Pelé in Sweden, 1958. On the cusp of stardom, he would lead Brazil to its first World Cup victory, becoming a legend. On the set of a 1953 film, Elizabeth Taylor's Milkshake Break offers a candid glimpse of the young star behind her glamorous Hollywood persona. A father faints after nurses show him his triplets in 1946. A classic photo of paternal shock in an era before prenatal ultrasounds. A Wong word processor in a 1980s office. This promotional photo captures the dawn of the digital workplace just before the PC revolution began. Photographer Tony Frisell captures a soldier during winter warfare training in Colorado, 1943. The stark image conveys the chilling reality of combat. Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward in 1963, embodying the joy that defined their 50-year marriage, one of Hollywood's most iconic love stories. A teenage Jeffrey Hyman, circa 1965, before becoming punk icon Joey Ramone. The photo reveals the future legend as an awkward, aspiring musician. A 7-year-old Robin Williams with his mother Laurie in 1958. He developed his iconic wit trying to make her laugh, calling her his first audience. Illegal whiskey cascades from a Detroit distillery during a 1929 prohibition raid. A potent symbol of the government's war on alcohol. Jerry Schatzberg's 1965 portrait of Bob Dylan captures the artist's defiant cool, with a cigarette in the harmonica rack becoming an iconic image. Mr. T with a 9-year-old Drew Barrymore at the 1984 People's Choice Awards, uniting two of the decade's most beloved and unlikely stars. A fresh-faced Goldie Hawn in a 1964 photo shoot. The image captures the future star's effervescent charm, years before she became a comedy icon. Robin Williams, Outside the Comedy Store, 1979. The photo captures the kinetic energy of the comic at the club that launched his meteoric stardom. A circa 1956 portrait of Natalie Wood, whose transition from child star to legend was defined by the fire and vulnerability she brought to the screen. Otto Frank, the sole survivor, revisits the secret annex in 1960. The photo captures his profound loss and resolve to share his daughter Anne's story. This 1942 Auschwitz registration photo of 14-year-old Czesława Kłolka captures her terrified defiance before she was murdered at the camp. A circa 1936 portrait of a 4-year-old Elizabeth Taylor, whose legendary beauty even then foreshadowed her ascent as a Hollywood icon. Fred Stein's 1947 photo of a snowbound 42nd Street captures the great blizzard that buried NYC, silencing the city that famously never sleeps. Fred Herzog's 1959 photo of Mott Street captures the sun-drenched grit and layered signage of New York's historic Chinatown. A Poignant Halloween in the Oval Office, October 31st, 1963. JFK laughs with his children, Caroline and John Jr., just 22 days before Dallas. The Nelsons, America's first TV family, played an idealized version of themselves on their show, blurring the line between reality and fiction. Dick Van Dyke and Julie Andrews rehearsed for Mary Poppins, 1964. Their on-screen chemistry created one of the most beloved musicals in cinema history. Antoine Verglas's 1990 portrait captures Johnny Depp's brooding style, cementing his image as a reluctant heartthrob on the verge of superstardom. A 13-year-old Christian Bale in a 1987 photo shoot for Empire of the Sun. The photo captures the young actor on the brink of international stardom. President Roosevelt's son Quentin with his friend Roswell Pinckney at the White House, 1902. Their close friendship was remarkable for the era. Sophia Loren at the 1955 Venice Film Festival, where her bombshell glamour first captivated a global audience and launched her international career. A circa 1913 photo of German circus performers. Often misidentified, it shows a professional troupe, not a coincidental meeting of record holders. Ernst Haas's 1969 photo of Times Square captures the area's legendary grit before its corporate redevelopment into a global tourist hub. In 1970, a Texas prom booked ZZ Top, famously misspelled as ZZ Top. The photo captures the legends before their rise to superstardom. Lucille Ball's Vita Miata Vegamin, bit from I Love Lucy, 1952, is a masterclass in physical comedy and one of television's most iconic moments. Workers deliver a 5-megabyte IBM hard drive in 1956. Weighing over a ton, it was the first of its kind, heralding the dawn of the digital data storage era. Photographed by Derek Jarman in 1986. A young Tilda Swinton reveals the chameleonic quality that would make her a cinematic and avant-garde icon. A child inspects a whale shark beached in Australia, 1965. The photo is a powerful study in scale, capturing childhood awe before nature's might. Marilyn Monroe poses at Niagara Falls during the filming of Niagara, 1953. The role established her as a dramatic force, an iconic bombshell. The 1908 Chicago Cubs. Their World Series victory began what would become a legendary 108-year championship drought, baseball's most famous curse. An aerial view of Woodstock, 1969. The massive crowd transformed a concert into a legendary counterculture city of peace, mud, and music. Franklin Schenk's record, 384-pound giant sea bass, caught off Catalina in 1903. A celebrated trophy then, it's now a stark symbol of a now protected species. James Dean and his Porsche 356 Speedster in 1955. The photo captures the rebel icon whose passion for racing defined his legend and led to his fatal crash. Jada Pinkett and Tupac Shakur at art school in the 1980s. The photo captures the deep platonic bond between two future icons before fame. Included in 1974 Lego sets. This message advised parents on gender-neutral play, prioritizing a child's imagination over specific skills or toys. Survivors exit the main gate of Auschwitz on January 27, 1945, following the camp's liberation by Soviet forces. Crowds celebrate victory over Japan Day in Times Square on August 14, 1945, marking the definitive end of World War II. Robert Redford and Jane Fonda in Barefoot in the Park, 1967. The film established their iconic screen pairing as mismatched newlyweds. The main hall of Cincinnati's old public library, shown before its demolition in 1955. Its ornate cast iron interior was lost for a modern building. Gregory Peck holds the novel for his 1962 role as Atticus Finch, a performance that earned him an Academy Award and defined the character. Mary and Jake Jacobs. Wed in 1948, Britain. Disowned by her family, the interracial couple faced prejudice, but their marriage endured for over 70 years. Photographer Mark Shaw captured Audrey Hepburn at her Home for Life magazine in 1953, revealing her off-screen life during the filming of Sabrina. Members of Easy Company at Hitler's Eagle's Nest, May 1945. Their capture of the Nazi retreat marked the end of their fight across Europe. A personal photo of brothers James and Dave Franco from the early 1990s. The image captures a moment of sibling bonding over the Super Nintendo. Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson during their 1982 collaboration. This photo captures a friendly moment before their famous falling out. Martin Luther King Jr. with his children, Yolanda and Martin III. The photo provides a rare glimpse into the private life of the public civil rights leader. Lily Tomlin, in a 2019 portrait by Jack Davison. The image captures the famed comedian and actress, a celebrated figure for over 5 decades. The Mark Twain tree, a sequoia cut in 1891. Its cross-section visualizes 1,300 years of history, with rings marking key world events. Douglas Kirkland's 1961 photos of Marilyn Monroe for Look magazine. The intimate In Bed series produced some of her most enduring final images. Lutz Peter Schiff, whom Anne Frank called her one true love in her diary. Like Anne, he perished at the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp. Pictured in 1885, Anandabai Joshi, India, Kei Okami, Japan, and Tabat Islambouli, Syria, were classmates at a U.S. medical college for women. A circa 1950 portrait of Janet Leigh, whose glamour was famously shattered by her iconic Oscar-nominated role in Hitchcock's Psycho. Princess Diana attends the 1982 London premiere of E.T., where director Steven Spielberg presented her with a doll of the beloved character. Photographer Bruce Weber captured Joaquin Phoenix for a 1997 L'Uomo Vogue feature. The image contrasts a mundane task with the actor's rising stardom. As a Polish social worker, Irina Sendler led a network that smuggled around 2,500 Jewish children to safety from the Warsaw Ghetto. A statue on Dresden's City Hall Tower overlooks the city's ruins in 1945, documenting the devastation from Allied firebombing late in World War II. Photographed by her friend Roddy McDowell in 1956. This portrait captures Elizabeth Taylor's intense gaze during the release of the film Giant. Russell Lee photographed these boys on Easter morning in Chicago, 1941, capturing the confident style of youth in the city's South Side community. Annie Leibovitz's 1990 Vanity Fair portrait of Bruce Willis. The image captures the actor at the zenith of his action hero stardom. Mary Smith, a London knocker-up in the 1930s. Her job was to shoot peas at windows, acting as a human alarm clock for workers. The Kennedy family is seen celebrating their final Christmas together during a gathering in Palm Beach, Florida, in December 1962. Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward are seen dancing in 1958, the year their marriage began a celebrated 50-year partnership in Hollywood. Gordon Parks' 1958 photo captures showgirls playing chess backstage at a New York nightclub, a moment of focus before the show. Painters work on the arches of the Eiffel Tower in 1932. The image documents the hazardous, high-altitude task of maintaining the Paris landmark. Taken on May 20th, 1860, this portrait presented Abraham Lincoln to the nation just 2 days after he won the Republican presidential nomination. A 1908 Lewis Hine photo of Sadie Pfeiffer a 10-year-old spinner in a South Carolina cotton mill, documented the realities of U.S. child labor. Cast members of The Deer Hunter, 1978, including Christopher Walken, Robert De Niro, and John Cazale, are seen on set during the film's production. Times Square is seen buried in snow after the Great Blizzard of December 1947, a record-breaking storm that brought the city to a standstill. A 1955 newspaper column poses the question of spanking women to men on the street. The answers document the era's publicly held patriarchal views. This 1909 photo documents a Christmas celebration in Buffalo, New York. The scene shows period details, including lit wax candles on the tree. The Cliff House, San Francisco, California. Built by Adolphe Sutro in 1896 on the cliffs below his estate on the bluffs of Sutro Heights. The Cliff House survived the 1906 earthquake, but was destroyed by fire on September 7, 1907. Opera diva Maria Callas and Hollywood star Marilyn Monroe at JFK's 45th birthday gala in 1962, where Monroe gave her iconic "Happy Birthday, Mr. President" performance. Shoemaker's Lunch, 1944, by Bernard Cole. Spanish archaeologist Manuel Esteve wearing a Corinthian helmet he found in Jerez, Spain, 1938. Photographer Charles Ebbets, taking the iconic photograph Lunch Atop a Skyscraper, September 20th, 1932. Louisita Lears, German circus strongwoman and aerialist, photographed in the 1930s. Boy standing in front of fallen statue of Lenin, Ethiopia, 1991. Anita Ekberg is fitted into a devil costume for the 1955 Art Students League Dream Ball, a popular high society event in New York. A masterpiece by armorer Filippo Negroli, this 1543 Burgonet embodies Renaissance artistry, with a mermaid forming its crest from a single steel plate. This 1940 portrait shows Lucille Ball as a glamour queen, long before I Love Lucy revealed her comedic genius and made her a television pioneer. Mike Tyson, known as Iron Mike, is seen here in his prime, a powerhouse of the boxing world who, despite his shorter stature, became the youngest heavyweight champion in history at the age of 20. Anne Margaret and Elvis Presley on the set of Viva Las Vegas, 1964. an image that captures the electric on-screen chemistry that blossomed into a real-life romance, defining one of Hollywood's most captivating and enduring relationships. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching.